Hello, I'm Philip Stoughton for EMS Now. I'm here at SMT in Nuremberg and I'm joined by Patrick McCall from Pace Worldwide. Patrick, thanks for taking the time to stop by.
My pleasure.
Rework market's a fascinating market at the moment. Lots going on with, particularly with the high volume products we're used to seeing manufactured in Asia, but a lot of repair being done close to the consumer here in Europe, North America, and wherever. What kind of demand are you seeing and how's that driving your product curve?
Well, we generally see when the economy is bad, we usually see an uptick in the amount of service that's done in the industry.
Okay.
And our products are ideal because they're really geared towards, they're not automated processes, they're really meant for a person to actually do the manual repairs on the boards.
Okay.
So service centers where you would bring a TV, your stereo, what have you, those kinds of service shops would use our equipment, as would warranty shops for Philips, Panasonic, those kinds of as well.
Okay, so repair rather than replace.
Correct.
Kind of recycle becomes the kind of key there. What about in terms of green issues, sustainability, those kind of things? Does that push the demand for rework over disposal?
I think it does, but I think people generally have more of a viewpoint towards trying to preserve resources these days, and they want to recycle where they can. And there's a lot of recyclable materials in circuit boards and in products as well.
Yeah.
And the other thing that drives repair, I think, is also just the cost of consumer, the amount of capacity that consumer products have these days with technology, memory, speed. It's more expensive to just replace those like it used to be.
Yeah.
10 years ago, you could throw a cell phone out and you didn't care.
Yeah.
Now it's like, $500.
yeah. So it becomes much more important, doesn't it? And also the data that's on there, all those things become an issue. And in terms of the accuracy or the type of product you're supplying to those repair houses, do they become more and more complicated? Is the electronics in there more and more difficult to handle?
Yes, they absolutely have. Pace started out selling basically a soldering tool and a desoldering tool, and now we sell those same types of products, but also fully BGA capable equipment, which has thermal profiling systems. They're based on computers, they're operated by software, they have vision systems built into them, and you need that because of the technology of the componentry. You can't do those by hand with a soldering iron anymore.
Okay, and those products, are they kind of, if you like, products that I can repair 10 or 12 different devices on, or are there bespoke solutions for, I don't know, an iPhone, a BlackBerry?
No, they're generally, the equipment can be used on a variety. It's more component oriented, not so much product oriented.
Okay. And it's not just about delivering the product. I guess these are pretty complex things to use.
Yes,
There's quite a lot of skill required by the user.
That's the thing. In production, the manual side of the production market has really gone downhill. Everything's automated now. And that's also good for us because when manufacturers have a problem and they put a part down on wrong, they don't do it 1 or 5 times, they do it 3,000 times. So now they've got a lot of rework to do. So we also provide training services for all of our customers, whether it's they can pay for us to come in and do training at their facility, but when they buy our products, we also provide complimentary training through our distribution network in Europe and Asia and in the US to get them up to speed, how to use the equipment and how to make the most efficient use of their time.
Okay, and is that certified training in some ways?
We do actually offer a PACE certificate training.
Okay.
We used to actually offer that before IPC came into venue.
Right.
And we can also provide IPC training, but we still focus on the PACE certificate because we can actually customize what we're training to based on the customer's needs. IPC is a generic, they cover this amount of space, and if you have a special problem or a certain type of component, you can't customize their classes at all. Whereas we can come in and customize specifically right to what the customer wants and provide them with the information and training that they need to do their jobs. Yeah,
and Patrick, I can see that there would be quite a high demand for training on top of the delivery of the product. What proportion of a typical transaction is training as against
quite a bit.
product?
We always push our distributors to, when they deliver the product, to actually spend a half a day with the customer, making sure they understand how to use equipment. It's not unusual where we'll go into a facility and they'll have a couple of our systems up and they'll say, hey, I've got this problem now, and well, you can use this to fix it. And they'll be like, oh, really? How do I do that? And they're just, oh, wow, this is great. And they really get excited about it again.
Yeah. And is it just the consumer products, or are there industrial products? Where's the demand coming from?
We sell into government, consumer products, automotive, medical.
Right.
The whole gamut. Aerospace.
Wherever it's needed.
Yep.
And what's next in terms of technical demands? Is it keeping an eye on what the semiconductor guys are doing to see what devices are going to be put down next?
There's some new packages coming out that are getting very popular. Package on package is one that's growing right now, and coming up with ways of dealing with that. It's a little more tricky because you've actually got multiple components layered on each other, and you don't want to heat the whole assembly, you just want to heat the part where it's attached, and it's a little more tricky, so that's sort of the next place that we're headed.
Yeah, and is there any feedback there? Do they come to you guys and say, look, we're going to bring out this device, are there rework challenges, or do they just put it out there and you have to fix it?
We have all kinds of customers coming to us saying, what do we do with this?
Yeah.
And we actually do have a technical support team at Pace in the States, and we have a training director, and Chris manages all of our activities and applications as well. So when something odd comes in, Chris will sit down, he'll take a couple, 3 days, 4 days, whatever, and he'll figure out the right way to do it. We always want our customers to do things correctly. We don't want them, damaging the boards or their products.
And do they design for rework, or do they just rework and work around the issues?
The customers?
The customers.
They seldom design for rework.
Yeah.
Usually there's more challenges.
How to design for manufacturers, so
exactly.
rework's another challenge.
Well, everything's getting smaller, so everything has to be denser, and a lot of times, you've got such package density on a board that it's hard to get to the individual parts that have to be repaired.
Yeah.
So it makes it a bit of a challenge.
Well, Patrick, I can only see your business getting busier and more challenging.
I hope so.
Which is pretty good news for everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for your time, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Great.
Thank you.